So you're here today to give a lecture. Can you give us a brief summary on what it's going to include, what's it about?
Well, it's called The Team Behind the Team. It's nothing kind of too intellectual. It's really just trying to reflect on what a great Olympic and Paralympic Games we had. And I think for most people it might have come as a bit of a surprise, the success that the team had and generally how successful the Games were. So I'm just kind of going to give a little bit of background as to how it wasn't a surprise, it was planned.
So we're 3 months on now from the Olympics. At what point can we begin to measure the success?
It depends on how you want to measure it. I think, you know, the amount of medals we won and the successful hosting of the Games is something that you know is kind of there in forever, if you like. Not to change that. I mean, people will look back on these Games. I think certainly most people that I spoke to, is probably one of the greatest Games there's ever been. I think the other bit of it is a bit more difficult going forward, which is about what legacy does it leave, that horrible L word that people have talked about, and you know, how many kids get involved in sport, whether or not even the feel-good factor that was around in the country, if you like, how people were sort of treating each other, talking to each other. Does that? I mean, I'm not sure that's even lasted 2-3 months, but you know, it's those sort of issues, the sort of softer issues, which are a bit more difficult to measure. But I think as an Olympic Games, you know, when you enter into the sort of contract with the IOC to host the Games, London delivered everything that the IOC and the IPC would have wanted.